If this summer you could come alive again? My new book is almost here. Peace is more expensive than lobster, a wake-up call with lipstick. And over the next 7 weeks, I want to take you on the journey with me. On Tuesday is a special wake-up call with lipstick podcast inspired by one of the chapters of the book. Wednesday at noon, we gather together for conversation, co-working, and encouragement. Throughout the week, we'll keep the discussion going in Pink Lady Posse, pull a few friction cards, and share surprises along the way. Then on Saturday morning, we come together for Think Pink. I'd love to spend a summer with you. Let's go. I am Sandy Parker-Martinez, and over the next several weeks, we're walking through my upcoming book entitled Peace is More Expensive Than Lobster, a wake-up call with lipstick. So if you're joining us, let me tell you what this podcast series is really about. If you've ever found yourself asking, why do I feel guilty? Why can't I make a decision? Why does everything feel so hard? Why do I keep putting everyone else first? You're in the right place, because I don't believe most women need another self-improvement program. I think we need another explanation. And around here, when I talk about friction, I am not talking about arguments, conflict, or razor burn. I'm talking about drag, the invisible drag that makes things feel harder than they should, that take more energy than you're used to. That drag steals our joy, our confidence, our peace, and often our voice. Over the next several weeks, we're going to meet different profiles of women, not personality types. These are not diagnoses. They're not labels. They're different ways we've learned to adapt to friction. And each adaptation developed because at some point it helped us survive. The problem is we often keep using that same adaptation long after we need it. And none of us are just one woman. We shift, kind of depending on the situation, the season of life, or the pressure we're under. We can recognize ourselves in several of them, if not all of them. Underneath every adaptation is an invisible question. Maybe it is, am I enough? Is it safe? Will they still love me? Do I deserve this? Do I have permission? That invisible question quietly shapes everything else. It influences how she thinks. Her thinking shapes how she behaves. Her behavior reveals the friction. The friction creates cost. So the wake-up call is the moment we can see it. And from there, we can return to our say. Now you're going to hear me say that word a lot. What is say? Say is your deepest knowing. It's the quiet place inside you that already knew. Before the guilt, before the fear, before everyone else's expectations, before the friction started talking. You don't create your say. You return to it. We'll spend a lot more time talking about this in the weeks ahead, but for today, I want to introduce you to two new parts of the podcast. The first one is wake-up questions. These are real questions women are asking. Remember Dear Abby? Well, think of it as the Dear Abby of friction, because most of it don't really see it. And noticing is the first start. Sometimes they'll come from someone in our community. Sometimes they'll come from a coaching conversation. Sometimes there'll be questions I've simply heard over and over again through the years. Because I have a feeling if one person is asking it, thousands of women are wondering the same thing. The new segment is called Friction in the Wild. Those are everyday moments where suddenly you see it. A conversation in the restaurant, a text message, standing in line in the grocery store, going to click the book now button, a family dinner. And once you learn to recognize friction, you'll start seeing it everywhere. And the point is, don't judge yourself, don't judge other people, just create space, a little space, because once you see it, you have choices. And that's where today's chapter begins. It's called Peace is More Expensive Than Lobster. Well, on the surface, it's a story about ordering lobster. It's about permission, about the quiet negotiations so many women have with themselves. Should I? I probably shouldn't. That's too much. Maybe next time. It's amazing how often we're waiting, not for money, not for opportunity, but for permission. And so this week, we're meeting one of the women in the book. I'll call her the peacemaker. She's kind, she's thoughtful, she's generous. She notices everyone else's needs before her own. She's the woman everyone counts on. But beneath all of that kindness is a quiet question. Am I allowed to choose me? Am I allowed to choose me? She usually doesn't ask it out loud. She lives it. She second guesses herself. She waits. She minimizes what she wants and makes sure everyone else is okay first. Sound familiar? Now, I'm going to tell you a story. A few years ago, after I'd lost over 100 pounds, one of my girlfriends invited me to celebrate by doing an underwater photo shoot. Now, this wasn't just someone with an iPhone taking pictures at the pool. No, this was a professional photographer who specialized in underwater portraits. I love the water. So, of course, I said yes. Sounded magical, like mermaids. And it was a beautiful way to celebrate how far I'd come. Well, I woke up the next morning and my brain immediately went to work. Who do you think you are? You're still over 300 pounds. You don't have the body for this. What if you can't get in and out of the pool gracefully? And what if everybody else is thin, like a model? Am I just going to embarrass myself? What if everybody's staring at me? It was like 10 different fears showed up all at once. I almost called and canceled. Looking back now, I know that was not wisdom talking. That was my nervous system trying to keep me safe. It was trying to protect me from possible embarrassment. But here's the thing, safe and alive, they're not the same thing. So I went. When I saw that portrait afterwards, I was stunned. For the first time in a long time, I didn't see a woman who needed to lose more weight. I saw a woman who was beautiful. It was me. And it looked like something that could hang in a museum. I'm going to show you the picture, and it still takes my breath away. It's exciting. It's so beautiful. That is me having been photographed in an underwater photo shoot. Look at that face. Anyway, like I told you, it changed the way I see myself. I really felt beautiful. And it was a gift I'm so glad I gave myself. Is that not amazing? Well, here's why I'm telling you this. The greatest gift wasn't the photograph. The greatest gift was that I gave myself permission before I believed I deserved it. I didn't wait till I felt confident. I didn't wait till I reached a more ideal weight. I did not wait till my fears disappeared. I simply gave myself permission to have an experience. That's what this chapter is really all about. Sometimes peace is more expensive than lobster, even at market price, because the price isn't money. The price is giving yourself permission to live before you feel completely ready. So, as you're listening today, I want you to notice your own permission conversations. Yours may not be about spending money, it may be about living. So, ask yourself a couple of good questions. Who am I waiting to get permission from? Who am I afraid to disappoint if I choose what I really want? A side note, do I even know what I really want? What story have I believed for so long I've mistaken it for the truth? What do I keep postponing until I become more deserving, more ready, more perfect? Where am I negotiating against my own self instead of asking, what do I want? What old belief quietly makes peace feel irresponsible? What part of me still believes wanting something is selfish? Oh my gosh, I should say shellfish. I'm sorry, I had to. What experience have I talked myself out of because I imagined everyone else's opinion before I considered my own? If no one else had a vote, what would I choose? Where has permission become more expensive than the lobster? Because here's what I've learned: the cost is rarely the money. The cost is the life we don't live while we're waiting for permission. Sometimes the most expensive thing isn't the lobster. It's the years we spend convincing ourselves we shouldn't do it. We shouldn't buy it. We shouldn't order it. We shouldn't go there. We shouldn't live like that. That's why I call this woman the peacekeeper. Oh, she's not weak. She is not broken. She's adapted. Somewhere along the way, she learned that peace meant keeping everyone else comfortable. Okay, the wake up call is realizing that peace isn't keeping everyone else happy. Peace is finally allowing yourself to hear your own say. So here's this week's wake up question. Where in your life are you still waiting for permission? And this week's Friction in the Wild challenge is simple. Pay attention. Notice those little moments when you hear yourself say, I probably shouldn't. Maybe later. Who am I to do that? Those tiny moments often reveal much bigger patterns. If today's conversation stirred up some curiosity in you, I have a cool gift. I've created a complimentary wake up gift that includes the first chapter of my upcoming book, Peace is More Expensive Than Lobster. Inside, you're also going to find a personal letter from me, a reflection, and a few other little surprises to help you begin seeing friction in a whole new way. I love the name of this site where you go. Just visit agiftforwomen.com and click on Yes, I Want It. Then join us on Wednesday at noon Central for Wake Up Call Live. It's just conversation, part co-working, part encouragement, and completely come as you are. No homework, no pressure, no pretending, no obligation, just women learning to recognize the invisible friction in our lives and discovering we're not alone. And if you know another woman who has ever wondered, why does everything feel so hard? Or maybe she's going through a time where she's carrying a lot on her shoulders. You could send this episode to her. You could even send her that free gift and send her a giftforwomen.com and let her get one for herself. She doesn't need another piece of advice. She may just need a different explanation. So until next time, remember, it's not you, it's friction. And sometimes the greatest act of courage is simply giving yourself permission. Thanks for tuning in to Pink Lady Posse Podcast, where women go from what now to what's next. Come join us at pinkladyposse.com, where we share community, resources, and tools to support your next beautiful chapter. With love, light, and a little lipstick. See you next time.